Hello there and welcome back to my channel this afternoon. I'm so grateful to have you here. I hope you all are doing well and staying safe during this coronavirus. I have some spinach with me, so why not make some kontomire stew? And let's get started. Oh, I'll have a side meat of boiled egg. I actually wanted to use Kobe again. Here is basically salted and dried tilapia fish, but I couldn't get any, so in place of that I'm just going to go ahead and use some smoked mackerel and some boiled egg. So let's get started. As you can see over here, we have I have some spinach that I already washed with salt and water and much water in my stew, and we have some rice here. We also have our fish that is been cleaned, and we have some ginger, some garlic, some Jamaican black pepper, lots of onions. Actually, for this recipe I'm using one large onion, and I'll be frying some and adding some later on in my one Agushi. We call it Agushi or melon seeds. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wash our rice. I usually like to wash my rice thoroughly until the water is clear and running, washed. And for those who still find it hard to cook rice perfectly, you can use your middle finger, and when you dip it, the water should be at the same level as the mark right there. That should cook your rice perfectly. But I like my rice just a little bit overcooked, so I'm going to add a little tiny more water. I am going to add oil, and now I'm using the Costco organic coconut oil because it has, and this gives the rice that rich aromatic coconut flavory rice kind of thing, which I love so much. So then we are going to go ahead and start cooking our rice. At this point, I'm going to go ahead to transfer our melon seeds, the butter, so that I can go ahead and blend. Usually I blend the melon seeds first so that I can get the remaining of it when I blend my wet. I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to go ahead add our ginger, and a little bit of onions. We'll add just enough water to be able to blend this. The reason why I didn't wash the blender before using it is that it still has a lot of the paste in here, and we don't want a lot of water in our stew. Hi, so while our rice is cooking, let's go ahead and get started with our stew. And for the stew, I'm using palm oil, and I'm going to go ahead and add some onions. About half of the onions, and I'll be frying this for approximately about 2 to 3 minutes. So onions have been frying for about 3 minutes now. I don't want to overcook them, and you can see all the bubbly going on here. I'm going to go ahead, as I said, I was using ragu, the traditional one. I just need a little bit of the ragu. I don't need much of it. Mix this together for about 2 to 3 minutes again, all together. So yeah, the ragu in the sauce and the oil has been frying also for about 3 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and add our blended spice. I'm still not going to rinse this yet because I really don't want too much water in this. It will take me much longer to cook if the water is too much. So I'm going to set this aside for the meantime and continue to stir this. We already have that white color that the agushi gives us, adds to the spinach to make it the desired stew we want. I'm stirring this for a few minutes, about 3 to 4 minutes. Next, we add our fish. This fish is, as I said, this is mackerel. In place of the mackerel here, you can actually, if you are good at smoking like pro, look how beautiful this is. Let me bring the camera closer, see? At this point, I'll be adding a little bit of mackerel. I want the taste of the sauce of this mackerel, so I'll be adding one of this. And add our blended spice. I'm still not going to rinse this yet because I really don't want too much water in this. It will take me much longer to cook if the water is too much. So I'm going to set this aside for the meantime and continue to stir this for a while. It's like the amount of melon seeds that was left in the blender actually was a good amount. See, we already have that white color that the agushi gives us, adds to the spinach to make it the desired stew we want. I'm stirring this for a few minutes, about 3 to 4 minutes. Next, we add our fish. This fish is, as I said, this is mackerel. Some Ghanaians call it salmon. The mackerel here, you can actually, if you are good at, use the Spanish mackerel or the bronzano. The bronzano also works, but you would need to at least let it be in the oven for quite a little bit longer than the actual mackerel. Look how beautiful this is. Let me bring the camera closer, see? At this point, I'll be adding a little bit of mackerel. I want the taste of the sauce of this mackerel, so I'll be adding one of this. Using the geisha mackerel. It's a Ghanaian product also. You can find them in any African market. That's all Ghanaian products. Now, as you can see, I didn't add any seasoning, dry seasoning, apart from the fresh ginger and garlic I blended. I didn't add any seasoning or salt, and that is because the melon, when you are blending it, you have to add salt to it. That salt, you will see at the end of it, it gives the melon seeds, it makes it look kind of egg-ish, like fried egg in the stew, and so you want to be careful not to add too much salt so that your salt stays within the content that you want. I'm adding a little bit of this. I feel like there was a lot of it already in the blender, and I'll allow this to boil while stirring periodically for about 3 to 4 minutes. I'll lower the heat on medium heat, so you don't want to put it on high heat, otherwise you end up messy than you want to. So this here has been boiling for about 7 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add in my spinach. The reason why the spinach go in very last is that they cook so quick. Literally, if you turn off the fire and close this pot right now, it will still be cooked enough for you to eat. So you don't want to overcook your spinach, and by doing so you want to make sure that the spinach is the last thing aside the onion. I'm going to add the rest of my onions to it. At this point our stew is cooked and you can go ahead and eat it. So I'm just going to add the onions and I'll be turning off the heat and just allow it to cook a little bit with the remaining heat that comes with the pot. Stew is done. Please leave in the comment section, let me know how you make your kontonmire stew. Well, if you are home, let me know what you will take out of this stew and what you will add to this stew. Please, thank you so much. I really appreciate. If you are new to this channel, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. But before we go, why don't we go ahead and serve this? Guys, look how nice our rice came out. Even though I said I wanted it a little bit overcooked, it still came out so nice and beautiful. Going to dish this rice up. It's so rich and creamy. And that's it for today. If you like this video, please remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any future notification. I am so happy to have you here today.